Hey, this is Jason Mott. If you want your baseball news, listen to One Cardinal, One Cub, and One Beer with JJ and Vince.
Okay. Paul's mental lift this.
Oh, that'll clear you right up. That's good stuff.
All right. Let's get started. Welcome to our second episode of 2026 of One Cardinal, One Cub, and One Beer. And by golly, stuff is happening. Finally,
Woo.
this winter, stuff is happening concerning the Cardinals and the Cubs. So exciting. But I do want to remind you, those of you who have not subscribed yet on YouTube,
Come on.
shame on you.
You know,
Subscribe to our YouTube channel so you can have this information as soon as we post it. Those of you who are on Facebook, please make sure that you like our Facebook page. If you'd like to contact us, you can contact us through any of our platforms, leaving DM, leave a comment, or you can email us at onecard1cup1beer@gmail.com. If you'd like to support our efforts, by the way, I just ran upstairs and got a cough drop, ran all the way downstairs. I'm out of breath because I'm old and out of shape. Those of you who would like to support our efforts on Patreon, go to patreon.com. In the search bar, type One Cardinal, One Cup, and One Beer. You can find us and you can support our efforts, and it is greatly appreciated. JJ, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. And by the way, with your cold, with you not feeling your best and that cough drop, you sound like Barry White. You've got a lot of deep. You throw a few babies in there every once in a while, baby. Hey, baby. I'm telling you what, the ratings are gonna spike this week, right there alone. But I will tell you. I'll
My
go ahead.
last, my everything. What
Yeah,
a what a voice.
he was. He had a great voice. Well, this coming week is the winter warm up for the Cardinals, and me and Brody ride back and forth to work together. And we're riding back, and ESPN Radio said, "Hey, we got they had a question, and if you're the 101st person to text, you win tickets to the winter warm up." So I said, "Brody, that's an easy one." And I told him, and he just texted, "By gosh, we won tickets to the Cardinal winter warm up.
Wow.
Very cool for Saturday." But he had to put his information in, and they want to know his age, and he said 20 because he's 20, and he hasn't heard anything back yet. And the thing's Saturday, so I don't know if he was too young to win the tickets. I don't know, but we haven't heard because every day I said, "Did they send you anything?" And he said, "No, not yet, Dad." So I was like, "Oh, well, all right." So we won, but I don't know if we're going to get to go, but we'll see. We'll see. But that's what's going on in my little world right there.
It's just playing the game. That's what's important. Winning and losing.
You're right.
No, it's important that you get these tickets, man.
Yeah, it'd
Come
be
on.
nice. It'd be nice. The question wasn't hard. It was who does the Cardinals open the season against? And I said, "Well, we're going to game two." And I said, "Well, it's Tampa Bay. Put that down, Brody. Text them." And so he did, and then we got a thing back. Hey, congratulations, you're the winner. And we're like, whoa! It's like I think it was like 20 minutes later we got a message back from him. So
Very
we'll see.
cool.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm excited. The Cubs have their version of the winter warm up coming up this weekend also. And we have it's be the 10-year anniversary of the 2016 team. So we have a lot of the former players coming. And I thought it was funny because I'm in Cub groups and they're saying, "Oh, why isn't Schwarber going to be there? Why isn't so and so going to be there? Or Baez going to be there?" Because they're under contracts with other teams. They're still playing.
They're probably at their winter warm ups this year.
Yeah, they can't go. But anyway, I'm so happy. We have all kinds of people coming back for this. We've even got David Ross coming back. We've got
Oh
Joe
yeah.
Madden coming back. We've got anybody who could possibly be there who wasn't under contract coming back. And I'm so excited. Even though I'm not going, I can't wait to watch all the stuff that I can find on YouTube and everything. Just an
Can you
exciting time.
can you believe it? It's been 10 years already. I mean, that seems like yesterday, Vince. I mean, it seems like it was 3 years ago, but it was 10 years ago. It's man, that time's flown by.
It has. It has. Oh, I did. I don't know if you watched the Bears game.
No, I didn't watch the Bear game.
So the Bears down by about, I don't know, 700 points going into the fourth, and they
Wow.
come back and they win it. They're big rivals, the Vikings. It's a huge game, and we'll get into all this stuff. But during the game, that's when the Cubs announced that they had signed Bregman.
Oh,
And my dad, the next day, we were texting, and he said that someone was saying that I don't remember who it was. One of the sports guys in Chicago was saying that this is the biggest day in the past 10 years in Chicago sports. And, oh, I believe it. You know, to have a big, huge comeback, come from behind win, your first playoff win in forever against your rival, kind of signaling a changing of the guard. And at the same time, the Cubs, who we've been waiting for this big free agent signing for, last one was Dansby Swanson 3 or 4 years ago. To have this happen, pretty cool. But also, Indiana is going to play
oh
next
yeah.
Monday for the national championship, and they dismantled Oregon, and I can't wait for that. I'm still pulling for Indiana. I'm still an Illini fan, but I'm a Big Ten fan, and like I said last week, I love the underdogs, so really into that.
It's a great story. All those stories are great stories right there. So it'll be
Yeah.
fun.
Uh, it, Jay, I'm going to mention right off the bat the two transactions or the
Sure.
three transactions that,
Sure.
and
Please.
then when you get to Cardinals, you can break yours down.
Okay.
But just today, I looked at my phone and I saw that the Cardinals traded Arenado to the Diamondbacks for right-handed pitcher Jack Martinez. And I know people are going to think I'm happy because, hey, they lost a good player. No, I am happy because I think the Cardinals did the right thing with Contreras and with Arenado. This isn't what they signed up for. They didn't sign up for a rebuild. They they allowed them to exercise their no trade clause so they could go to places they wanted to go to, and the Cardinals are paying a hefty part of that Arenado contract.
Yeah.
And I just thought that that was a very classy move from an organization. And I saw a few people on social media, yeah, we traded him for nothing and we're paying most of his salary. Yeah, that's what he's worth now. I'm sorry, a third baseman that hit 15 home runs and drove in what 50 or 60 runs
Right.
is not worth that much. Arizona's taking a gamble. Arizona's got a good team. They're going to bounce back. They're taking a gamble. They can squeeze a good year out of Arenado and become a playoff team. But it's a gamble because if he flops, he flops. The Cardinals did the right thing, making sure the situation was where he wanted to go and that they could make it happen. So I say kudos. It was a class move by the organization to make this trade. Cubs, beginning of the, well, after our last thing, I've been saying I want Joe Ryan. I have also mentioned Edward Cabrera, who was kind of like my second. I did not want Zach Gallen. I think I made that clear on here.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we traded Owen Casey and Christian Hernandez and another minor leaguer um, to the Marlins, and we got Edward Cabrera. And when I get to the Cub news, I'll kind of break that down. I'm very excited about that trade. And then um, over the weekend, we signed Alex Bregman, 5 years, 175 million. And I will break that down when I get there because I have been on here and I have said I don't want Alex Bregman, and I'm going to talk about that. So those are the transactions that affect our team. And you also picked up Ryan Stanek, and I'm sure you'll get into that. I think it's Ryan Stanek, which is funny because for the last two seasons, the Cubs have been connected to him. And I've
Oh,
never heard the Cardinals mentioned in connection with him, and then he's going to the Cardinals. So uh, let me go through the other transactions of note. The Colorado Rockies claimed Keegan Thompson off waivers from Cincinnati. If that name's familiar, it's because he spent a couple years with the Cubs. He came up at the same time as Justin Steele. They were a righty lefty combination out of the bullpen. Thompson actually started really good. We thought he may be the one who developed into a starter, and it didn't happen that way. Steele progressed and became an ace, and Thompson just kind of went back to being a tweener between AAA and the majors. So hopefully the Rockies can do something with him. But boy, oh boy, if I'm a young pitcher trying to make it in the majors, I don't want to go to Colorado. uh, the Diamondbacks signed former Cardinal Lucan Baker to a minor league contract, and I'm sure that they're going to give him an invitation to spring training and give him an opportunity. The Diamondbacks also traded center fielder Jake McCarthy to the Rockies for right-handed pitcher Josh Grosh, which is a fun name to say, Josh Grosh.
Yeah.
Former Cardinal Paul DeJong has been signed by the Yankees to a minor league contract, and I'm sure he's going to have his shot to make the big league team too. I like that signing. Paul DeJong, he's not a starter anymore, but he's versatile. He can play a few different positions. Nothing fantastic, but he can play a few different positions. And he's a professional, gives you a professional at bat. So I do like that signing for the Yankees. The Padres signed Luis Verdugo to a minor league contract. And yeah, he's kind of slid a little bit. I'm very excited about this. The Pirates finally signed Ryan O'Hearn, 2 years, $29 million.
Yay.
All-star last year. I've always liked him. I liked him when he was with the Royals. I liked him when he was with the Orioles. And then last year, gosh, who did he get traded to? He got traded at the trading deadline, I think to the Padres. But anyway, in Pittsburgh, he's going to get a chance to play. And Pittsburgh is trying to add a little bit of offense. I saw a meme that I think was true, that if Paul Skeens had gotten average run support for a major league team, he would be like 40-2.
Oh,
His career is like, my gosh.
man.
Yeah, the Pirates need someone who could help them score some runs, if for nothing else, for when Paul Skeens pitches. Rangers claim Zach Kent off waivers from the Cardinals. So, do you remember Zach Kent on the Cardinals?
Know the name because it was recently he was involved in that, but no, not until then. I did not know that name.
Yeah. Dodgers signed third baseman Andy Ibanez. So, who played third last year for them? Was it Max Muncy? And Muncy's got to be. He's an old man, so.
That's another thing they do good. They have pieces, not the stars, but the other pieces. They're very good players. I mean, they got a great organization that keeps bringing up these guys. Besides going out and buying all these players, Muncy's been a really good player for them through the years.
Yeah, they've spent big money, but they have done the other small things wise. They've gotten the pieces that you need, not the Otanis and not the Yamamotos, not the Freddie Freemans, but they've gotten the pieces that they can plug in. Like the outfielder, his name's slipping my mind now, who they put into the game, who
is it Podges? They have an outfielder, Podges. They got Tommy Edmonds out there, but he's versatile. He moves to second and plays center sometimes.
Who called the ground rule double, and
maybe it was. I can't think of.
They do a good job at putting all the pieces together.
Oh yeah.
The Guardians signed third baseman Carter Kieboom to a minor league contract, and I've always liked that name, Kieboom.
Yeah,
I've always thought this guy should lead the league in home runs someday.
Oh yeah, that's good on the scoreboard right there.
And for some reason, as the Beach Boy says, only God knows. The Blue Jays agreed to a minor league contract with Eloy Jimenez. I guess they have an extra room on their training table. I guess. I don't know. That's the major transactions, and I want to go one obituary that kind of hit me, because I actually watched this guy finish his career with the Cubs. And uh, Dave Gusty, he
Yeah.
played from 1962 to 1977. He has started with the Colt 45s. And those of you who are not, what's the Colt 45s? That was the name the Astros had for the first few years in Houston before they changed it to the Astros and moved to the Astrodome. Played a lot of years with the Pirates. He also played for the Cardinals for a smidge and had a cup of coffee with the Cubs at the end of his career. He was a big part of that Pirate bullpen of that 71 team that won the World Series. He had 30 saves, so he was their primary back end man. Passed away at the age of 87. Resided in Pittsburgh. Guy from, he's somewhere on the East Coast, New York somewhere, I think. And played in Pittsburgh and just settled there. And from what I gathered when I was reading the obituary, that he was beloved by the community. And he wasn't Dave Parker, he wasn't Willie Sargent, wasn't Roberto Clemente, but he was a guy who pitched many years for Pittsburgh. And uh, when you do put your time in with the team and you give it your all, you may not be the best player, boy, the fans remember. They really do.
Oh yeah, and we both have Cub and Cardinals that we adore that maybe weren't the star of the team, but I think of like Dunston, who I think was a star, but as time's gone on, we know him, and he was a big part of that team. I mean, I think of Cardinals like Ray Langford. I don't think gets the proper respect he did, but he was a great player for us, and just and I remember him in '71 only because I collected those old Pirates cards, and I always liked the way the uniforms looked. Pirates had some great uniforms, and the Phillies, the Dodgers, and the Reds just dominated the National League in the '70s, and he was a big part of that. I think he led the league in saves one year too, and I think that was 1971. So, God love him. I hate to hear that, and but what a player! I remember him well.
Yeah, yeah. Um, that's the only obituary we have. So this is the 13th. We're 2 weeks into the new year. We only have one obituary, which a very minor player who barely had a cup of coffee also passed away. But I usually don't mention them because I can't pronounce their names or I don't remember a thing about them or anything like that. So
I have nothing to add.
yeah,
Vince, the power ratings. They always do these preseason power ratings. As soon as the college championship game will be over, they'll already have the power ratings for next year. It's kind of ridiculous, but it is fun to look at. And you always say, okay, well, we'll see. But the Cardinals aren't rated very high this year. But I will go over the power rankings, and here is the top 10 or five. We got the Dodgers, of course. I mean, back-to-back world championships. You can't argue with that. You got the Blue Jays, too, and they've improved their team. The
yeah.
Mariners, the Phillies, and the Red Sox. Now, the Red Sox, all right, show me what you got. I don't know if I put the Red Sox that high, but they're always a pretty good team. Now, in our division, this is how they rated us, and this is the MLB power ratings, not me sitting somewhere throwing darts at a board and saying, okay, we'll put that one at 12.
Real quick,
Yeah.
I'll make a prediction. The Brewers will have a better record than the Red Sox and will be a better team.
Well, I'm not voting against them. I'm not betting against the Brewers.
I don't know how they haven't learned their lesson with the Brewers. They're good. They know what they're doing. They don't have the stars, but they know what they're doing.
They sure do.
Go
They'll give you a tough game. Oh, no. The Brewers they have at number 6 right now, preseason power rankings. Of course, injuries and sometimes a player comes up and takes over. Number 10, the Cubs. And I would put the Cubs even higher. The 17, the Reds. 23, the Pirates. And 27, pulling up the rear, the Cardinals, 27. But Vince, I thought about this. This made me think. What would I consider, with everything that's going on, what would I consider a good year for the Cardinals? Well, I would say if we win 73 or less, I'll be disappointed because I think we can be a formidable team, go out there, the young kids out there playing, giving their best. I probably think we're going to win somewhere between 74 and 79 games, and I'll be okay with that. Anything over 81 games, I'm going to be ecstatic for what we got going on, and how the team is at this moment. So that's the power rankings. I'm excited. A lot of people are not saying they're not excited about the Cardinals or around here. I don't, they're just not going to watch it or something. But I am, because I am excited about some of the young kids coming up and playing. And I'll get into more of that in the Cardinal section. I do have a question for you, though. And it starts with this fact. The Royals are going to be moving in their wall in the power alleys 9 feet. Center field will stay exactly the same. I think it's 410 feet. I got it written down over here. But they're going to lower the height of the wall from 10 feet to 8.5 feet. And they claim, and the phrase I saw was fairer, to make it fairer, the stadium fairer. I don't know if that's fairer or not, but I guess they're going to try to get some power going. So the question I have for you, Vince, is I heard Randy Carricker. This is not my idea. He says the Cardinals should take their fences. I don't know if you got to get a vote and have it okay through the league. I'm sure you do, but move it back 10 feet, the whole wall, put some sort of AstroTurf in, and just go get a bunch of fast guys and run everybody's socks off. I guess sort of like Whitey ball.
Say, where'd he get that idea from?
And it's cheaper to get a fast contact hitter than it is a power hitter. Power hitters are expensive, but you can put a whole bunch of contact fast guys, well, super fast, I would want, out there, and it would disrupt. And maybe that's a route the Cardinals can go. I don't see it happening, but I kind of like that idea a little bit, Vince. What do you think about that?
Well, let me address the Royals real quick. I think two words are the reason why they're moving the alleys in, and that's Vinny Pasquantino. He's got 2 more years, and then he's going to be a free agent, and they're going to want to keep him. And they never attract power hitters, free agent power hitters, because it is so hard to hit there. In the 70s, Al Cowens would hit 22 home runs and lead the team. I think John Mayberry one year got 32, 34 home runs in that big ballpark. And the park used to be even bigger. But like George Brett, Darrell Porter, people who were not considered fast would get a lot of triples because it was just so doggone cavernous there. And they have moved them in, but I think the reason they're moving them in even more is because they have to make it a little more attractive to get those players. Remember, they won a World Series in 2015. They went to a World Series in 2014, but it was like 30-year buildup for that. It's hard to put together a team that is not going to be a power team, but is still going to be really good. And that's what the Royals did with that 2014-2015 team, built it on pitching, defense, and a lot of contact hitters. And they had a good formula, but boy, you can't wait 30 years for every World Series to roll around. So I think this is a strategic move for them to make the park a little more attractive. Pasquantino is obviously their second best player behind Bobby Witt Jr., and he had a heck of a year last year. So I think that's one of the big reasons. Try to keep him around. They've already extended Witt. They're probably going to try to extend him this year, and that could be a selling point. Look, we're moving the fences in. We're serious about trying to make you one of the centerpieces of the future of this team. And we could maybe get to a point where we can add another thumper for 30, 35 home runs to join you two. So I think it's a good move. As far as the Cardinals go, I think Randy Carricker was being a little jokey because he does have a very dry sense of humor. But yeah, that was even though I wasn't a Cardinal fan, boy, that was a fun team to watch. Now, when they played the Cubs, I hated it, especially in Busch, because I thought, oh my gosh, Jody Davis's arm's going to fall off because he's going to have to try to throw out all those runners.
It just was disruptive. You got a man on, and there was like 7 people that ran. They were just so disruptive. And you had an advantage because the league kind of went that way a little bit when the Cardinals were successful. But the defense, man, I have to say, Vince, I'm just going to sidetrack here. That the defense that you guys have in Chicago, I can't think. I was thinking about this. I don't know if there's a better defensive team in the league right now. You guys at every position. I mean, you were talking last year. You guys had very good defense, but I thought, well, this team and that team, I think could be up there with them. But now I don't see them. Once Bregman came and is playing third, my gosh. I mean, you guys, you're not going to give away any games. You're not going to give away anything. You're going to have to earn everything you get against the Cubs this year. And,
our only weak defensive spot is right field, and that's because we're going to open the season with Suzuki. And I don't think Suzuki is that bad of an outfielder. It's his reputation because he's made mistakes in big moments that people think, well, he's a butcher. He's not a great outfielder, but he's serviceable, especially when you got PCA running down everything between Iowa and Indiana. And then Haps on the field is a Gold Glover. So I will sacrifice a little defense and right. And I don't know how this guy got this reputation of being a great defensive outfielder. I was just not impressed with Kyle Tucker. I mean, defensively, he was just nothing that impressed me. I had more fun watching Keith Moreland play right field with the '80s Cubs. So.
Yeah, he was an adventure, but I did like Keith Moreland. He could hit. He was a very good hitter.
Yeah,
Vince. Go ahead.
I went to college with the guy that went to high school with Keith Moreland, and he said that it was really weird. He said he went to baseball fan. He said one day there was just baseball on TV in the dorm, and he said the guy Keith Moreland was up. He said, "Yeah, I went to school with Keith Moreland." Then they showed him his face. And said, "Oh my gosh, that guy was a senior when I was a freshman. I know this guy."
That is so cool, man. How about that? I never had that kind of brush with greatness.
Do you remember an outfielder named Mike Anderson?
Oh, yes. He played for the Cardinals, yeah. And the Phillies, I think.
Now, way back in the 80s, whenever I was in the ministry, I was the associate pastor at this church in Missouri. And they weren't baseball fans. And one day I was talking to the senior pastor's wife, and she's asking, because, I go to church wearing baseball stuff, stuff like that. She's like, how'd you become such a baseball? I said, I don't know. I said, I just started watching it, and it just consumed me from like the age of 10 on. It's all I want to do is play baseball, watch baseball, collect my baseball cards, play strat baseball, this other stuff. She said, yeah. She said, I dated a guy who went to I think he played some professional baseball. So what was his name? She said, Mike Anderson. I said, outfielder for the Cardinals. She said, did he make it to the Cardinals? I said, yeah. She said, yeah, that was him.
Darn.
My gosh, if I had dated, well, I was female and I dated a baseball player. Even if I was male and I dated a baseball player that made it to the major leagues, everybody would know it. She was so out of tune with baseball, even though she dated a baseball player. I think he may have played professional baseball.
That'd be my Facebook picture right there. Me and, Chi Coleman or something from the Mets.
There you go.
Yeah. Hey, Vince, I thought since they've had all this testing in place, we wouldn't see steroids be such or enhancement performance drugs. But Max Kepler just got suspended. Did you hear that story? And he's 32 years old now, and it's tough to stay in the big leagues. I'm not going to stand high and say, hey, you shouldn't do that. It is illegal. You will get caught eventually. But it's so hard to stay up there, and these young guys are coming to take your job. He's a free agent. He's still looking for a thing. I think somebody, if you thought maybe you could get away with it to keep your job in the big leagues, you might do something. I hate to hear that because I think the Cardinals are looking for some bench guys, and I think I heard Kepler's name was a guy that was a possibility. So I hate that for the decision he made, and I hate that, and maybe he'll serve his time and come back and play. But I really thought, I'm naive though. Maybe I thought, well, since they're testing so much, you won't hear so much about that. But it seems like we've had a few people here of late get caught taking those things.
Well, there's a couple reasons why that's happening. And primarily, uh, the technology to mass steroids and the technology for Major League Baseball to have to keep on top of, oh, a new masking agent has come out. We have to come up with something quick. There is that kind of race that's happening. So people do, okay, the current Major League Baseball cannot detect this. Well, in a couple months, Major League Baseball's technology catches up and they find it. So that it's getting tougher to mask because Major League Baseball has become very good at keeping on top of it. Um, but another point that I heard on a radio show, I think a year or two ago, that was really good was these players are approached by people who tell them they can't find this one. This is brand new, and Major League Baseball doesn't even know this one's out. And so there's some salesmanship that goes on. And probably when the masking agent was being uh, manufactured, probably that was a true statement. Major League Baseball, but by the time it's manufactured, I'm sure that rumors fly, and
Oh yeah.
Major League Baseball has a few people on payroll for some of these companies. They find out about it and they eventually get caught. But I do, I every it's not like JJ, when did you decide to go into healthcare?
Uh, when I was in the Navy, my grandparents would send me the sports page, the paper from Arkansas, and I would look in the want ads, and I just see nurse, 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 male nurse, and I thought, maybe I could do that. And I had a GI Bill, and I thought, well, I'll give it a try. I'll go get a 2-year degree, and then if I can get into the nursing program, I'll do that. So I'm going to say I was probably like 24 years old at the time.
Okay, so you weren't a 10-year-old kid collecting doctor and nurse cards,
No,
playing Stratomatic Hospital. No,
no,
the difference is most people, a lot of people, man, they get out of college. Emily didn't know what she's going to do when she got out of college. Max thought he was going into computers and he's went to logistics. You never know. But certainly they didn't have these dreams to do this stuff. Baseball players usually get the dream at a little young age and they become very focused from little league on. This is what I want to do. And they keep working on it. And the system weeds people out at different levels because you hit your max. And Max, we're talking about Max Kepler here. And a player like Kepler, they make it to the majors, and that's all they've ever dreamed about, or that's all they've ever worked on. They, a lot of these, there's no contingency plan. I just kept playing baseball and I kept getting higher, and finally I made it to the major leagues. I've made it. And if you're a major leaguer and your career is fizzling after a few years, what else are you going to do? And I think I'd be tempted
no.
to try something.
The money's great. It's better than it's ever been, even for what I say an average major leaguer. My
Yeah,
gosh, they make ton. I think the minimum right now is like 785,000 a year for
yeah,
the
it's
minimum. Oh my gosh, you can't make that kind of money anywhere else,
not
So
nursing.
no, no. I mean, I do better than I thought I would, but no, sir, no, sir. But I understand, and I hate it, and I want it to be fair. I just want the game to be fair. That if you hit my fastball, it's because you were having a good day, and I just hung it a little high or whatever. Not because you've been taking something that I didn't take or something. I just want it to be fair. That's all,
Yeah.
as a fan. So anyway, yeah, I know. Very good, Vince. I didn't know all that. The World Baseball Classic has got another American going to play for the American team. It's Byron Buxton from the Minnesota Twins. He's 32 now, and I think he's a super player. He just can't stay healthy all the time.
Yeah.
But he is Mr. Twin, I think, right now, carrying that torch. And he's going to be in the outfield with Corbin Carroll, PCA, and Aaron Judge. Now, that's, my gosh, Vince, that's a good outfield right there.
Yeah, but that Judge guy just can't run with the other one, so he needs to get out of there.
They could DH him or put him in right field. With the Yankees in center field.
Back, that'd be your outfield. There you go.
Vince, we're seeing that guy is incredible. I mean, I know Ohtani, and deservedly so, and these other players, but Aaron Judge this is like historic what he's done in the last 3 years. What a player, and what a great. I just like him representing the game. Well, I mean, he just seems like a good guy.
And he had 2 strikes against him because he was a Yankee. There's my 2 strikes. So,
and he's good looking. Strike 2.
Right 2, yeah. So, I'm predisposed. I don't want to like this person, but I do like him.
I know. He's just great. He's must-watch TV when your team's playing the Yankees. Like, oh man, what are we going to do with Judge? We got to pitch to him now. There's 2 on and nobody out, or something like that. I understand. But here was an interesting one. There's an Israeli team, and Harrison Bader is playing for Team Israel. And I don't know the connection. I don't know if he's Jewish or his mother or somebody in the family is, but Harrison Bader is in the World Baseball Classic playing for Team Israel. So I've seen a list of players playing for different places, and he's one of them for Team Israel, which I don't know. Good for him. I'll look forward to seeing Team Israel. I didn't even know they had a baseball team, so that's going to be kind of fun. And trivia, Vince. I have trivia today. This week's trivia is contracts. I put a little thing on contracts. Do you know, Vince? And I'll give you a couple clues because this is just out of the blue. Who was the first $1 million player, got $1 million a year to play baseball? And my first clue is 1979.
It's either going to be Winfield or Ryan.
Nolan Ryan.
Ryan, yeah.
Look at you. I had some more clues set up. Nolan Ryan in 1979, the Astros paid him to play for their team. Now, it's kind of neat to see the jump. $5 million. I jumped up to $5 million. It went from 1979, $1 million to 1991. Do you know the first player to get $5 million a year? He signed a 4-year, $21.5 million contract. 1991. American League. That's hard. That's not fair. So
I would say Canseco.
No, very good. He's a pitcher.
Pitcher. Oh, Clemens.
Vince, it would have took me 5 more clues before I got that. Roger Clemens, $5 million a year in 1991 with the Boston Red Sox. How about that? All right. $10 million a year. So now we jump from 1991 in only 5 years. 1996, it jumped to $10 million a year, and the first player to get $10 million a year, he signed a 5-year, $55 million contract. And I will say this, maybe your least favorite player in the 90s. Don't go trick-or-treating by his house.
Albert Bell.
Albert Bell. Vince, I seen his earlier cards. Did you know he went by Joey Bell at one time?
Yeah. That was.
I forgot about that. I don't remember him being called Joey Bell.
Yeah, his first year or two. That's And then he said, "No, my name's Albert. And if you
Yeah.
don't call me Albert, I'll kill you.
I'll beat you
Run
down.
you over."
Albert. Yeah. Maybe I should have said Joey then. I'm so sorry. All right. I got two more for you. 20 million a year. And just 4 years later, we doubled from 10 million to 20 million in the year 2000. 10 years, $202 million contract, one of the biggest
That's
contracts ever.
that's A-Rod.
That's A-Rod with the Texas Rangers.
Yeah.
They just went all in on A-Rod. And finally, I stopped at 40 million, but we went from 2000 and 2000 30 million. We went from 2000 to 2004. And I will say it's A-Rod was the first $30 million ball player. But then we jumped from 04 to 22 to 40 million. And I will say this, it's a guy who bet on himself. He was up for free agency and decided I'm going to play the last year, and then had a heck of a year. And then got American League.
Oh.
We've mentioned him on the podcast tonight.
We mentioned.
I will
Eloy Jimenez. That's who.
No, Aaron Judge.
Oh,
Aaron Judge. I know there's so many players and so many stories. That's the great thing about baseball, Vince. There's so much information and things like that. And sometimes you're so deep you can't do something sitting right there. But yeah, Aaron Judge, 40 million a year. That's amazing. I can't. Where can I get a job where I make 40 million a year? Oh,
can't.
No, I can't. This was my moneymaker. I'm not getting 40 million. That's all my information on general news right there.
A couple more things. Reports have come out, and I'm only mentioning this because it came out from Ken Rosenthal, so it's a little more credibility. That Tucker's been offered a short-term contract with the Mets for $50 million a year.
Woo.
So he's looking for this long-term 8-year thing, and it looks like he's going to have to do the short-term thing, hire AAV, and also the Giants are in talks with both the Cardinals and the Cubs for our second baseman. And I'll get into the Nico Horner part of that. And finally, I just want to mention the AUSL, the Athletics Unlimited Softball League. I did not even know that they had a season last year, but apparently they had a season. 4 teams just barnstormed.
Oh, okay.
And the team won it. And I'm thinking, gosh, I didn't hear anything about that. And I comb the baseball news because I have no other life. Anyway, they're going to have 6 teams: the Chicago Bandits, the Carolina Blaze, the Portland Cascades, the Oklahoma City Sparks, the Utah Talons, and the Texas Bolts. And they'll be playing from June 9th till July 20th. It's a 25-game schedule, and then the playoffs will start on July 23rd. Now, ask me if I'm going to watch some of these games.
Vince, are you going to watch any of these games?
I sure will.
Yeah. I enjoy female college softball. I love it. I love it. I like it as much as the men's baseball. I really get into it, and you get to know some of the players and everything. And I felt bad because I didn't. Oh, where are they going to go after this? The really, really great ones. So I'm glad. I hope this succeeds and gives an opportunity for a lot of more women out there who in athletics. I think it just will be great.
Very cool. What's going on with Cardinals?
Well, Vince, we got a lot going on. We've got actual baseball stuff. We got peripheral baseball stuff. I mentioned the winter warm-up coming up. A lot of players are going to be there. We got breaking news, of course, the Nolan Arenado. And I'm just going to say I'm happy, I'm sad, I'm disappointed. I'm happy the 5 years we got with Nolan Arenado, a class guy, played world-class defense. We've had a lot of good third basemen here in St. Louis that I got to see. I didn't get to see Kenny Boyer actually play, but I got to see Kenny Reitz, although he didn't hit. Outstanding defensive player, Terry Pendleton, Oberkfell, and Scott Rowland, a Hall of Famer, and then Nolan Arenado. I think it's sometimes when you get a player who has a huge contract, I think he lived up to his contract. I think the last 2 years have been disappointing, but the first three, I mean, he was behind Goldschmidt and Machado. He was the third place for the MVP one year. And it's just the young players didn't come through that year because Goldschmidt and Arenado had a heck of a years. So, when he came here, we had been a winning team for about 12 or 13 years in a row. And then it just, after I think we had one playoff appearance with him here, and that's sad. I'm going to miss him. I wish him well. I'm glad he gets to go to a team because Arizona's got a chance. And I'm just disappointed that the Cardinals didn't play better while he was here. So that's kind of how I feel about him. We're getting a 22-year-old kid, Jack Martinez. Don't know much about him. He was an eighth rounder last year, so he hasn't even pitched in the big leagues yet. High ERA. He played for Arizona in the college, but he is a strikeout guy. In a 77 innings, he struck out 110 and he only walked 35. But he gets hit, so he'll be down in the minors. We may never see him up in the big team. It's a chance. The Cardinals paid about 75% of that contract, and I know the fans aren't happy about that, but this year we were wanting the young guys are going to get to play now. What I've heard is if Donovan is still on the team, JJ Weatherholt will play third. If Donovan's gone, JJ will play second, and Gorman and Sajasi will play third, a platoon, if you will, at third base. And that's how it kind of looks at this moment right now. So he's really going to be a part-time player, or we were going to have to play him because of the contract. So I'm happy it's $11 million we don't have to pay, and I really just I'm going to miss him. I really am, because I think he was the face of the team. So anyway, so with Contreras, Honey Gray, and him gone, it's going to be a young team. I think our oldest player right now might be JoJo Romero, our closer, the bullpen, our lefty. So a very young team, and it's just going to be a young kids out there trying to make a name for themselves, and sometimes that can be pretty exciting. You also mentioned we got a pitcher, and I'm going to mess up his name, Ryan Stanek, the Mets relief pitcher from the University of Arkansas. Hey, I always got to throw that out there. And he's played with a few teams, and he's got some experience. So the Cardinals are getting this veteran bullpen set together. A lot of guys. We're going to throw a lot of names into the pot and see what happens. We've got about 5 left-handers now in the group that's going to be going down there trying to make the team. And we also got a starting pitcher, Bruce Zimmerman, a starting pitcher, a left-hander. He played with the Brewers. He's 30 years old. He's played with Baltimore and Milwaukee. And last year so far he's been 8-11 with a 5.64 ERA. That's not nothing to get excited about, but maybe they saw something they liked, because I've seen that a lot. There's something we like about that guy. Of course, when we had Dave Duncan, he always figured something out. So these are some of the moves right now, and there's still a lot of rumors, like you just mentioned a while ago, for a second baseman with the Giants. Donovan's a very good player. He can help a lot of teams, but I don't think Heimblum's wanting to give him away. He wants something quality in return. So we'll see. If he's here, I'm fine with that too. So that's kind of where we're at in that. The Cardinals, I really think, did something good. I like this. They made agreements with 7 of our players to avoid arbitration. And Vince, as you know, when you go to arbitration, the player and his agent are talking about how great a player he is and everything he's done for your team. And the team sort of has to undermine the player to say, wait a minute, we don't think he needs to work on this, that, and the other. And hard feelings can happen. I remember when Jack Flaherty went to arbitration, and after that, he had bad feelings about the Cardinals because they kind of didn't talk real favorably of him during the arbitration meetings.
That's the process.
I know. And I think it's so good that they come to some sort of agreement. We avoided it. And I'll just give you the names of the players. Burleson, Brendan Donovan, Nolan Gorman, Matthew Liberatore, Lars Nootbaar, Palante, and JoJo Romero. So, whatever, they decided, hey, we're going to offer you this. Is that good? And they agreed, and we're out of that neck of the woods. So that's good. Other little things. that's going on. We got the winter warm up, and Greg Amsinger is in town. He's going to be at the winter warm up. He works for the MLB channel. He's the guy, real good looking guy with a great head of hair.
We hate him.
But he is a good guy, and he is a Cardinal fan, and he doesn't try to hide that. And he's got these a series, the Amsinger series, and it's going to be at Lindenwood College. And this one's going to be the 16th, Friday at 7 p.m. And special guest Heim Bloom and Ollie Marmol. He'll interview them on stage, and then from the audience, there'll be a time for questions and answers. And I think that's great because the Cardinals, for what I mean, I know why, but our PR has not been very good. Get Heim Bloom out there. It seems like Mozeliak just, he would pop up every once in a while, and he kind of talked in code. You never knew exactly how he felt, or he very rarely said anything. He just kind of beat around the bush. And Heim Bloom just seems more energetic. He's out there. We're seeing his face all the time. And then Ollie Marmol, and so I think he's going to be on a hot seat this year. I mean, he's going to be working with these young kids, and I think that's one of his strengths is getting the most out of these guys. And I hope there's a good relationship there with some teams that the office tells the coach primarily what to do, and I hope there's kind of some give and take. And hey, I think this and all that, and we get the most out of these young players. I probably think we're going to end it, if we're lucky, fourth, probably be fifth, but it'll be entertaining to watch these guys grow and become major league players. And Vince, that's basically it for Cardinal news right there.
In Cubby news, we started the week. We traded Owen Casey and Christian Hernandez. Casey was going to split time in right field this year, do some DHing, maybe spell every now and then Bush at first. He is our number one prospect, power hitting left-hander. But they traded him and Christian Hernandez, I think, who's like our number 10th rated prospect, and some other guy to the Marlins for Edward Cabrera. And Cabrera, his first year of arbitration eligibility, we did the right thing. We signed him to $4.45 million the very next day. So we have control of him over the next 3 seasons, and that's kind of what we've been looking for. But he's not a kid. He's 28 years old. He just took a little bit to come into his own. Last year, he was 8-7, had a 3.5 ERA, 150 strikeouts and 137 innings. His problem has always been control. He's walked a lot of hitters. But last year, he cut that down to about a little over 3 walks per 9 innings, which is something that's pretty good, particularly if you have a 5-to-1 walk to strikeout ratio. That's pretty good. And I was listening to the recap podcast, Dave Kaplan and Gordon Whitmire out of Chicago, and they are very connected. That's what I like about them. And Kaplan was saying that he talked to a guy who worked for the Marlins organization, and he said, this guy has unlimited potential, but the Marlins just don't have the infrastructure to help him develop. They don't have the pitch lab the Cubs do. So he expects this to be a breakout season. So we're going to start the season with Boyd. We're going to have Horton. We're going to have Cabrera. We're going to have Imanaga. And we're going to have Tyone. That's our starting 5. Somewhere around June, Steele's coming back. We also have Assad. We also have Colin Ray. We also have Ben Brown, who can start. We have a lot of options. We have a lot of arms for the starting rotation. No starting rotation stays healthy through a year. So everybody's going to get their shot to play a little bit. But I'm very excited about the starting rotation. I think this is a good trade. I know my dad, he's not hot on trading away a power hitting left-hander, but I have a different philosophy. My different philosophy is you develop them, you make them into minor league stars, prospects, and if you don't have room for them, trade their butts away and get major league talent for them. If you have a position need that they don't fill, trade them away. And that's kind of like, I think, We really don't have a whole lot of room for Owen Casey besides being a part-time player, and we can get rid of him and get a starting pitcher in return. I will make that 11 out of 10 times. I think it's a good trade. While I'm talking about arbitration, we did go ahead and sign Steele to 6.6 million, and Assad, our other guy who's arbitration eligible, I think about 1.5 million, somewhere around there. So everybody signed. Nobody's going to arbitration. Nobody's being told all their faults. So it's very good. So then Saturday we signed Alex Bregman, 5 years, 175 million. And I've said I don't think he's necessary. He's expensive. We have a third baseman who should be getting better defensively. He's Gold Glove finalist. There's no problem there. Matt Shaw been there last year. Was disappointing as a hitter for a third baseman, but I was going to give him some leeway. Hey, let's see if he can put it together. Then when we signed Bregman, I was kind of like, okay, I'll dig deeper into him. My problem with Bregman is that he's older. He's 32 now. I think he starts the season at age 32 also. And he's played in Houston and Boston, which is very friendly to right-handed power hitters. So I've like, okay, how good is he? Someone a lot smarter than me did an overlay of Bregman's hits, every one of his at-bats that he put the ball in play in Fenway, and they overlaid that onto what Wrigley has. A huge improvement over the overlay I saw with Itzhak Paredes, where all these home runs were barely making it over the wall. I thought, this ain't going to work out. Bregman, he hits the ball pretty hard. He can put some distance to it, and the wind that's the last couple of years, the wind that's been really knocking down balls has come out of right field. He's a right-handed power hitter. They'll fly out of left field. The porches, power alleys are short in left field. So he overlays pretty nice. So what we're losing, if I mean Shaw's still on the team, he may be super utility guy, and I'm going to get into that in just a minute. But he, we get an older player, but there's a few things that I like. He does have an 846 career OPS, and I like my stars having OPS in the eights or 900s, and his career is solid in the 800. Last year, because of injury, he played 114 games. He still hit 272, which is like hitting 302 in yesteryear. He had, I think, 18 home runs. So his power was there, and his defense was really good. So he profiles nicely. I like the OPS being high. He's a contact guy, doesn't strike out a ton. So he's kind of I think, a slightly better version than Kyle Tucker. Not offensively. I think Tucker at his best is better than Bregman is at his best offensively. But I think the Tucker's defense, okay.
He's got an intangible, Vince, I really like. He's one of those guys, and there's not a lot of them. When the game's on the line, he puts the bat on the ball. And I'm telling you what, that's so valuable. Molina was like that. You would look at his stats and you weren't like, well, but Molina, when the game was on the line, he's not the guy you want up. And I think Bergman's one of those guys when the game's on the line, you're like, oh, not him.
Yeah. And let me add one more thing. Um, if I'm the Cubs and if I'm not trading Matt Shaw, and at this point in time, I think we're set. I don't think we need to do any additions. I am happy the Cubs are finally over the luxury tax, which is, all the Cubs, yeah, they're cheap. They won't go over that luxury tax. Well, we've been over it now 2 of the last 3 years. Come on now.
We're the recipients.
We're
So
not the Dodgers. Come on. It's not going to happen. But anyway, um, if I'm the Cubs, I get on the phone and I call Ben Zobrist, say, we will pay you X amount of dollars if you come to early to spring training, maybe before even the players in a couple weeks, and you work with Matt Shaw at different positions, and you show him he can be an all-star if he's good enough as a Swiss Army knife. He's got the athleticism. He has played shortstop in college. He's played second and third in the minors. Um, and he's got the athleticism to probably play the outfield. If I'm the Cubs, I'm calling Ben Zobrist, say, please work with him. And I think Ben Zobrist would. He's still tight with the Cubs. Please work with him. Show him all the tricks you can, and then consult with us. Do you think that he has the mentality to do this? Because it is a different mindset when you're a super utility type player. So if I'm the Cubs, I do that. Now, I think this whole season, if we trade this whole off season, if we trade Shaw, we get something decent. Okay, I can stomach that. If we turn around and trade Nico to get under the salary cap, that's going to take a lot of the steam out of this momentum we've had. If we are truly going for it at 12 million this year, you keep Nico at second base, because overall, I'm talking defense, putting the bat on the ball, situational hitting, hitting with runners in scoring position. Overall, he was our most productive player last year. Um, I, I mean, we get late in the game, they'd bring in their flamethrower. Oh, gosh, good thing we got Nico coming up, because I knew he was going to make contact. Um, and I knew you get the flamethrower out there and you get PCA, he's going to swing through it, especially at the end of the year. So I think that um, trading Nico would be a downer way to stop to finish the trade season or the off season. One more thing unrelated to anything. I just think this is a cool story. This weekend, Fergie Jenkins is going to hold an auction, and he's going to sell off all his personal memorabilia, and it's estimated to be worth $8 million. He's giving all that money to the homeless in Chicago.
Oh, what a guy. Hall of Fame person.
Yeah, he's even when he came back, I think the 82 season, he pitched a little bit for the Cubs. He came back and had his last hurrah. He was just, as a human being, on another level. Very intelligent, very compassionate, and I think that's great. And he said, I can't take this with me. I mean, he's an old man. I can't take this with me. There are people here who don't have food, and I'm sitting here with a baseball I could sell for $10,000. Sell it and give it to the people. That's going to buy a lot of food. That's going to be a big help for the homeless in Chicago, and I'm very happy about that. So,
Right,
who else is concerned about the homeless in Chicago?
well, it's always, that's how I knew about the homeless. Jeremy Connor.
Jeremy Connor is our liaison to the homeless in Chicago.
I think he was homeless in Chicago once.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Comes a time in every man's life when he needs some advice on relationships. You need to listen to the podcast DMDR, which stands for Dating, Marriage, Divorce, Remarriage, from my good friend Jeremy Connor, the Dr. Phil of the Boot Hill. You can find DMDR on Spotify or whatever platform you choose to listen to your podcast.
Well, guys, we have a very special episode today. I'm so proud you guys joined me and Vince. We're always looking for baseball fans that bring a little something new to the show. We have Mike Davidson over here, and also John. How do you say your last name? Lause?
It's Lause.
Lause. All right, John Lause. And first of all, I want to say this, John. I know your family. I went to school with David and Jana, and their mom and dad, just the most wonderful people. There's not a clunker in the bunch. My family, all clunkers. So it kind of even things out. Well, I'm going to talk to Mike first. Mike, what gave you your love of baseball? Was there a moment, or a person that you kind of fell in love with the game?
Yeah, I would say a big part of it, and probably most of it, came from my dad. I always say he was kind of the Cal Ripken Jr. of dads, and the fact that he never missed a game, never missed a practice. He coached me throughout my whole life playing baseball, but also instilled a love of baseball into me, just at the professional level too, as far as following it goes. And I have some vague memories of '98 and the McGuire and the home run chase, but really it was 2001, when I was in middle school, I was in seventh grade, and that was my first year of really like paying attention, following the stats, and just that Diamondbacks World Series run, but also Albert Pujols' rookie year, Ichiro's rookie year. Just an incredible year for baseball. In hindsight, didn't know how good I had it as a kid following along that first year, and I kind of got the bug after that, and since then have just been a huge fan of the game and the history of the game. Huge Cardinals fan, but also just a huge fan of the game itself and the history involved with it.
Fantastic. And John, you how did I mean, you can't help, if you're married to Jana, you can't help but be a Cardinal and a Ted Simmons fan. But
yeah, that goes without saying. You're right.
how did you become such a fan of baseball though? Early age or any early in your life?
Yeah, we moved back to St. Louis in '77, and got involved in the game right away. Similar to what Mike said, my dad was the coach of my seventh and eighth grade team, and was a real encourager. And I wasn't the best of players, but um, from that young age, I just fell in love with the game, and followed it ever since. I had some great games that Dad took me to. I was actually at the game where Lou Brock got his 3,000 hit. So
Wow.
that's one of my favorite memories. I still have the ticket stub. Um,
Line drive off the hand of Dennis Lamp. Am I correct on that?
it was off of him, yes,
Yeah.
and it
Yeah.
rolled towards third base, I believe, if I
Yes.
remember right. And
Wow.
Dad. I don't know how my dad got the tickets, but we were on the field box on the first base side, about 30 rows up at the Busch Stadium. And it was, being at that age too, it was incredible because it was just so loud, and I've never been that close to the field in my life before. So yeah, that's one of my Cardinal memories.
Well, let me ask you both this because I remember the first time I went to a major league game. It was at the old Busch Stadium, and the Cardinals played the Dodgers, and Roger Freed hit a pinch home run in the bottom of the ninth, and I thought they're all like this. This is what happens to a live game. But I remember the first time I walked in, and I looked through the tunnel, and I saw the green AstroTurf, and it just looked like I
Mm.
was in a magical land. What was your first impressions the first time you walked into a baseball stadium?
Yeah,
Oh,
for me, it just looked endless. Right? As
mhm.
far as the grass, it just, as a kid, I think my first game, my first memory was Old Bush, um, Ray Langford T-shirt giveaway. Got an XL T-shirt that didn't fit me until I was in about probably 16 years old, 17 years old. But yeah, it looked endless. From playing baseball for probably 3 or 4 years, and then going to the first major league game, or at least the first core memory from a game. Just the sights of it, I still kind of remember the smells of it.
Mm.
It's a really, it was incredible. Yeah.
How about you, John?
Yeah, it was the vastness of looking out the field and just how large it was. It was bigger than like a theater production. It was just very, very overwhelming at that young age.
Yeah.
I pestered my family to take me to a game. I think it was Mother's Day. So my dad got Mother's Day out of the way and me out of the way at the same time. But we went to 75 Mother's Day, Astros, Cardinals. And when we were in the bleachers, we went up and just the colors. And the Astros had those rainbow jerseys at the time. That was like, oh my gosh. And it was 2-1 game. And I just, man, but I know exactly what you're talking about. Now, John, I know you collect or you deal with cards, baseball cards. Mike,
yeah.
Mike, do you deal with baseball cards too? Are y'all in that together?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's actually how we met. Was
Yeah.
kind of through that process. So yeah,
I just love the hobby. I love the hobby, but let me tell you something. I'm a novice. I mean, as far as I get the player, like I put a display of Enos Slaughter. He's my all-time favorite Cardinal. And I've got about 15 things signed by Enos, and I've got all the cards in this big old frame I'm very proud of. But today you got the grading system, which before when we were kids, it was like, I got a Bert Cabrerra, but I got a Steve Carlton, I'll trade you, it was that kind of thing. But it's completely different now. And I see these kids walking around because I go to Orlando Gardens too and look around and talk to the guys all the time. But now you see these kids with these suitcases and they're on their cell phones and they're all making deals. It's like the stock market or something. So I'm going to ask you, what do you think about the grading system? And two, could you give me maybe 3 cards that are like the hot sellers? What's really going right now in the hobby? And all these companies that make cards too. I know Alan Ginter makes cards and all these chrome cards now. I don't even know what to get. I just get what I like, basically, is what I get. So what do you guys think are the hot cards right now out there in the hobby?
Yeah. Go ahead, Mike.
oh man, as far as the hot cards in the hobby, I might not be the best person to answer that either. But in St. Louis, yeah, we were kind of talking about before we started recording, but Mason Wynn's really the guy in the baseball world here in St. Louis anyway. Kind of the only guy you can probably count on being here at the end of the season next year, right? But as far as I know, in football, Josh Allen is big. I know Luka Doncic is big in basketball. So those are 2 kind of big guys in other sports. But yeah, those are some 3. In the local St. Louis market, I would say Mason Wynn's probably the big one right now, and JJ Weatherholt is a big one too.
Oh yeah,
a lot of people are dreaming on him and buying.
Yeah,
I was just going to show off. I got a Chrome Weatherholt. Just saying. I'm just saying. I got lucky with that. Just opened the pack and found that one.
But JJ, hey, I got one for you. Check this out.
Oh yes, I do have that one, but I don't have it graded. Very good.
Okay.
What's it graded as?
That's a 4, I think.
A 4? Oh,
4.5. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Man, hey, I gotta applaud you. I love it. And it was just sitting there. Man, that's fantastic. Well, my favorite, and I'm sorry I get off on the card business because I do love just the history of the cards, and Topps is celebrating their 75th year this year. And I don't know what special things they're doing. I know they're one of the big things is putting autographs you can open in packs. But my favorite by far, 1975. Kind of, I was a kid then too, and I was just going to show off one of the greatest 1975 cards right there. The great Ted Simmons, Giant.
There he is.
75. Yeah. Just throwing it out there. I'm just saying.
Hair and all. I gotta love that 70s hair.
Yes.
I wish I had some of that.
I don't mean to brag, but I'm holding in my hand a 1991 Norm Charlton.
Oh, hey. 1/3 of the Nasty Boys right there.
That was a group. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if we're gonna
so
ahead.
both of you guys are collectors. Around how many cards do you have? Do you have an exact number? Or are you off by maybe 100 or 1,000? How many do you have? And how long have you been collecting these?
Oh, well, for me, I started in about 1971.
Hey. Good year.
Yeah, I was 5 years old that summer, and that's when I got my first first pack of cards that I recall buying, and what inspired me is when I opened it, there was a Bob Gibson card in there.
Mm.
And I know I'm speaking to Mike there because I know that's one of his all-time favorites there. But that's what kicked it off for me. And every summer after that, I was buying cards for quite a few years until I took a few. Did take a little hiatus there for a few years in those late teenage years, but I picked it back up in college, and then ever since I've been involved in the hobby, buy, selling, trading. It's been a crazy market in all those years. A lot of things have changed. Um, Learning some good lessons along the way, and yeah, it's been fun. It's just a lot of fun. It's just something about collecting them, and then for me, I enjoy building sets and then buying every card that was made that year and putting them together, putting them in binders or what have you, and then it's just it's the pursuit, and I've got the bug.
Can you give us one of the lessons? You've learned a lot of lessons along the way. Can you give us one lesson I can take and learn today in my hobby?
I got a recent one. It's probably less than a week old. Is about counterfeit cards.
Really?
That was a big lesson for me. Yeah, it slipped by me. So yeah,
I never even thought of that, to be honest with you. Thanks for letting me know that. Did you buy it
yeah.
online or did somebody come and offer it to you?
No, I bought it many years ago,
Oh,
decades ago, probably. And I had heard about them. Never encountered one, and then
Mm.
as I learned the hard way, yeah, I wasn't aware of it, and Mike helped
okay.
me identify that. So it
All
was
right.
a good lesson to learn. That's the negative side of it, but there's a lot of positive sides to it too.
Oh,
It's and I'll bring this one back to Mike too. As I met Mike at the first show I ever sold a card at or attempted to sell a card at, and you know we I enjoy the relationship and talking shop and talking about cards and just enjoying the aspect of everything about it. It's so dynamic, and there's so many different collectors. There's so many different ways you can collect. Yeah, everybody's got what they're looking for and what they want, and whether it's by team or players or sport, it's endless of all the different ways that you can pick into this sport and enjoy it.
very cool. Mike, how'd you get involved with the hobby? Is there something in your collection that you're really proud of? A couple pieces or anything?
Yeah. So I got involved. My story is probably pretty similar to John's, except my hiatus I think was a little bit longer. I started collecting as a pretty young kid. My parents would buy me a pack when we go to Walmart or Toys R Us or wherever it was, and but again, it was probably around 2001, right around that season when I really feel like I got the rabid love for the game that I started collecting a little more seriously, buying the top loaders and the penny sleeves for the cards and taking care of them and not just playing with them. Um, which was a
Yeah.
good year to do it with the Pujols rookie year and each year a rookie year. But that was, and like I said, my dad collected when he was a kid. So he's still, thankfully, he was one of the lucky kids like John that his parents didn't throw away all of his cards when he went off to school. That happened a lot back then.
Sure
But
did.
but yeah, so that's kind of when I started. I went off to college. Didn't I had my little box of my best cards I brought with me, kept under my bed, stuff like that. And then it was the boom. John can kind of attest to this too, but there was a boom with the collection that happened right
Hmm.
around COVID, when everybody was stuck inside their houses, and a lot of people my age and people even younger and older were going, well, I guess I'll pull my baseball cards out and start going through those because what the heck else am I going to do, right? And it kind of took off again after that. So I'm kind of I got the bug again at that point, and that was probably so I probably stopped. I say stopped. I'd buy packs here and there and look at stuff here and there, but I wasn't nearly as involved with it as I am right now. But probably a solid 8 to 10 years where I wasn't really doing a whole lot with it, and then just kind of got the bug again when there was nothing else to do. But as far as everything else John said about the hobby, couldn't agree more. About just having friends and meeting people along the way that collect certain players or collect in different ways, and you pull a card out of a pack or you find one and you buy it and you're going to give it to your friend that collects that specific player or they've been looking for that card and the camaraderie of it. And then yeah, to John's point, we got set up at that Orlando Garden show, gosh, what, almost, is it 3 years ago now,
Yeah.
something like that. And they just so
Mhm.
happened to put us both together. I guess they had the newbies in one section that had never done a show before, and they just so happened to set us up next to each other. And really, for the last 3 years, it's been great. It's been a lot of fun, and pretty much I make my money from selling my stuff at the show, and then I go over to John's table and I go, okay, what am I gonna come home from here? So he's got some incredible stuff. But I like John and I both really love the vintage stuff. The stuff from the 40s
Yes.
to the kind of early to mid 70s. That's kind of both of our wheelhouse.
Yes.
Now, John, you're old enough and you've been collecting long enough. One of our first guests that we had when we started this podcast is my cousin, and their family owned all the Turn 2 collectibles in the St. Louis area during the
Okay.
late 80s through almost to 2000.
Mm-hmm.
And they were there when the market just fell apart. As a collector at that time, did that bother you? I mean, it bothered them from a business perspective. They had to close shop, but from a collector's point of view, did you think, big deal, I still collect baseball cards, or did you think, this is falling apart and I'm not comfortable with it?
For me, that's a great question because you're right. The market did change quite a bit, but for me, being a true collector, yeah, I didn't slow down. I did shift my focus more to the vintage at that point in the 90s when that's when the bottom kind of fell out in that time frame, and there was such a gluttony of 80s and 90s wax out there. But yeah, but for me, I I had a budget of how much I spent every month, and that's what I spent, and I didn't slow down, and I enjoyed going to the shows, and I was going to those shows in the 80s and 90s and to the present, and just picking up cards along the way, looking for deals. Um, so yeah, and as you mentioned earlier in this broadcast, is when the grading came, it really changed everything. And I think I may have told Mike this story, but for me, my dilemma is with eBay coming on, and that was pretty new. You know, I could buy, I'm going to flash another card for Mike here, but this one,
Oh, yes. Is that 67?
that's a 67. So my dilemma is that I could get three of those 67s for the same price as one graded card. So I had to weigh out, wow, and they would be the same grade essentially, you know, when you purchased them and received them. So was it quantity, or do I buy the graded cards? And it was because it was quite a change because there was no grading up until PSA pretty much. And Beckett came along and SGC and there were probably another couple dozens that have come and gone. But yeah, for me, that was the big influx and the change in whether to buy quantity or quality or graded. So the nice thing about graded is it takes it to a third party, and you don't have to, when you're buying and selling as a seller, selling your card as an 8 or selling or buying it where you're trying to buy it as a 7. And it takes out some of that subjectivity of it where the third party kind of comes in and says, hey, this is the standard. And it really did help to some degree as far as coming to reaching agreements a lot easier.
Okay. All right. Because I was on the fence on them grading. I was like, I've heard of people get it graded and say, I disagree, and they reopen it, resubmit it, and maybe get a higher
Oh,
grade the next time. I have heard a few people tell me those stories.
that does happen too. Yes.
Absolutely. There's just like with anything else, there's politics to it, and it's frustrating, and it's a necessary evil, I guess you could say, within the hobby. But yeah, that does happen quite a bit. It can you resubmit it and get a different grader, and you know the human element of it. There are some companies out there that are starting to do it with AI and starting to do it with
Oh, yeah.
systems that are not no human intervention. So it'll be interesting to see if eventually, the PSAs, the SGCs. Well, now PSA and SGC are owned by Collector, the same company. So there's a little bit of I guess you could say conflict of interest there too. So there's a lot going on with it. But to John's point, it is nice to know you're getting a legitimate card. This is the grade that it was put upon it. But you'll hear in the hobby, a lot of people say, buy the card, not the grade. And for that exact reason,
Sure.
because, sometimes you'll look
Good
at a
point.
card and you'll go, that doesn't look like a 7. That thing's miscut and it's off centered and doesn't look right. And then you'll see a 5, a PSA 5 that looks even better. Well, I'll pay less for the 5 all day and get a better looking card, right? So there's some of that out there too, and you just got to kind of, and it comes back to what you said too, JJ. Just buying what you love, right?
Yeah.
That's the big thing. Whatever you like and you want to collect, those are the people that stick around and stay in the hobby, and that's why John continued to do it through the bubble bursting in the '90s. Because if you just buy what you like and continue to collect what you like, and don't buy something because somebody else likes it and you think you might be able to flip it for more money, if you're doing it for the right reasons or the pure reasons, I guess, then those are the people that stick around.
I like that, the pure reasons. I'm a collector, but I don't know. And I have a friend, Tony Pruno, who's got the greatest, Vince can vouch for this, the greatest baseball room I've ever seen in my life. It's like the Cardinal Hall of Fame, basically, one card of every Hall of Famer. And
Oh,
it's pretty impressive. And I don't even want to know what he spent on it. But for me, I don't know what I like until I see it. I don't even know I'll go up to Orlando Gardens. I don't even know what I'm going to get. I know when Al Oliver's come up, I've got about 5 things I want Al Oliver to sign, but I just look around and I like the old Sports Illustrated. I like the autographs. I like the equipment. I just never know. And there's certain cards. I'm a fan of the Reggie Jackson throwing the ball. I think that's a 72, maybe. For some reason, I'm obsessed with that card. And of course, all the 75s. I used to open packs, and like every other pack, I got a Burt Campernera 75 where he's sitting on the dugout steps. And I have about 100 of those Burt Camperneras. This takes me back to being in 5th grade again, and me and my friend opening our cards and everything. But I have a question for both of you. Since you got here, we had, of course, the big news today in Cardinal land that I was going to say got rid of, but they pretty much did. They traded Nolan Arenado, and I just wanted to know what you thought of the deal and what we got, and your thoughts on it. Either one of you guys want to talk about that move they made?
Yeah, I can start off, John, if you want. Yeah, I think it was inevitable. It needed to happen. I was talking to my dad about it earlier. It's bittersweet. I think it's probably about 60% sweet, 40% bitter, right? There's always going to be that what if with Arenado. What if he'd stayed consistent? What if he'd not fallen off the way he has? And he played less playoff games as a Cardinal than he did as a Rocky.
Oh,
Crazy. But it needed to happen. They need to, the rebuild is fully underway. And I've been a big I've been harsh on the front office in the past, but I will give them kudos for this offseason in general. I feel like they're they're eating a lot of money to get players in return, because it would have, if they weren't taking most of that contract, then they weren't going to get a single thing for Arenado. And hey, they got a 8th round pitcher from last year's draft. Great, whatever. But at the end of the day, the most important thing is they cleared out third base. Gorman's going to get one last shot with some new coaching, new people in the organization helping him out with the swing. It's going to open up everyday playing time, hopefully, for Weatherholt and some of those other guys to really see what we've got. So at the end of the day, didn't get much in return and paying 2/3 of the contract, probably close to 3/4 of it, but I'm not disappointed by it based off of kind of the direction we're going.
I like that answer. What about you, John? You got any thoughts on that move? Did it shock you, or was you kind of expecting it any day?
I don't know. It's been these last couple of years have been really tough. So it's the ups and downs, and I've been pretty negative. Mike knows that. And I'm not looking forward to this season, but it's going to be a rough one. But I will say that I'm glad we got something as opposed to nothing out of the deal. If anything else, I don't know much about them, but all I know, it's better than nothing. So I'm going to leave it at that. Mike summed it up pretty well.
Very good. Very good.
Well, gentlemen, we need to move on. And I was just kind of a fly on the wall because I mean, this is my prized baseball card. B.B. Richards, right there.
75.
75 White Sox. And JJ's talking about, takes him back to a time. That's kind of how I pick on my paraphernalia. I don't know what any of it's worth, but I'll see something that's usually obscure and I think, my golly, I need that Gary Matthews RC can.
I remember those.
Because it takes me back to a time when my life was more innocent and there was no room for girls. There was no room for school. It was just baseball. And now I have to make room for family and all that other stuff that gets in my way of baseball. But gentlemen, thank you for coming. And
thank you so much, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Make sure the next time we have you on, the Cardinals are on the upswing. Okay, so get on here and say, yeah, eat that cup.
Well, I'll see you guys in about 2034. Looking forward to it.
Yeah.
We'll still be doing this, I'm sure.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, thank you, John, and thank you, Michael, for joining us.
Fantastic. I love talking to those guys.
I just love being a fly on the wall. And listen to this. Michael is, hey, he's probably around my daughter Tabitha's age. He looks, mid-30s maybe. And it's so cool to see someone that young with that kind of passion for collecting. And then you had John, who's been doing it longer than you have, JJ.
Yes, sir.
And I think it's pretty cool that he and his wife are both huge Ted Simmons fans. Just oh yeah. And he still has that hair, it's just Snow White.
It's yes. That's right.
But one story about Simmons before we get into baseball cards. One story about Simmons. I think it was Dale Murphy had like an 800 game streak, and he was going through a really rough time, and they sat him on the bench. This was, I think, 86, 87 season. And he felt like he owed it to the fans to be on the field because people pay money to, but he wasn't producing. He is very frustrating. And Ted Simmons, who was playing out the end of his career, basically as a pinch hitter in Atlanta, he sat down with Dale Murphy and explained to him, you do enough for the people. If someone bought a ticket to see you in this game and you're not in it, that's okay. That's not on you. That's a part of baseball. there may be people here coming to see Ted Simmons play, and I'm not going to play. You at least will probably get a pinch hit, and kind of brought him back down to earth. Don't do this based strictly upon the fans because it's just part of the thing. I went to plenty of games as a kid, and Brock wasn't playing. Brock playing. Oh well, who cares? I'm watching baseball, Or Simmons wasn't playing, or Templeton wasn't playing. I've turned on the games wanting to see. Oh man, even in these days, oh man, I want to see what Michael Bush is going to do today. And Michael Bush is on the bench. Ugh! It's just part of the game. So that's one of my memories of Ted Simmons was him sitting down and Dale Murphy really appreciated that.
I heard a story about Ted Simmons, and I'm sorry if I'm taking too long. I'll make it quick. Ted Simmons was in college. This was in the mid 60s, perhaps. He was in Michigan. He was hitchhiking, and a van filled up, and he hopped in. He was going a couple, 3 towns away. Was driving, and it was a guy who had a musician. And as he's sitting there, he turned around. There was a drum kit, and on the drum kit, now this guy wasn't famous yet either. It was Bob Seger. Bob Seger stopped, picked up Ted Simmons, and took him wherever he was going, the next town or whatever. I always thought that was a pretty cool story because you don't hear about hitchhiking anymore.
And then Ted stole his hairstyle.
He sure did. That's right.
JJ, I've got 1992 Upper Deck. It's way up here. Where is it?
Oh, beautiful pictures will be coming. And I've got, because I bought a box, I've got the update 2025s with our friend PCA on the front.
Hey.
Yes, there he is. You want to go first?
Oh, sure. I'll go first, and I'll say 2 Hall of Famers.
I'm going to say 1. I'm going less.
By the way, I heard some pretty good feedback on our mustache episode last week.
I loved it. I thought it was such a fun episode.
Oh, yeah. Especially for this time of the year when nothing's going on. We spent 45 minutes talking about facial hair. Awesome.
Did you see the monkey tail? Did you see the Brody's wanted us to see the monkey tail?
Could you believe I actually found a picture of that dude? I got on the internet. I got to find a picture. And it took me a long time to edit because I had to find all these pictures and put them up because we had a ton of pictures this time. And usually it's 1 or 2 from obituaries. And I found out all these pictures. But I was looking at all their facial hair. And you had one, Glenn Burke. And I could not find the card with his facial hair. And all the ones that I'm looking at.
Oh, yeah, he had a little.
That's why I got a different picture of him up there.
Okay.
With his facial hair. So he's the only one I didn't have for a baseball card. Oh, I'm going to start off with Tom Goodwin of the Los Angeles Dodgers.
Oh, yeah. I know Tom Goodwin.
Not a Hall of Famer. Dadgummit. Oh. Kind of a Hall of Famer.
Okay.
A Hall of Famer.
Oh, related.
Yeah. I have Pedro Martinez for the Dodgers.
Oh, yeah.
No, not. I'm thinking of Ramon for the Dodgers.
Ramon.
This is a Hall of Famer.
A young Pedro right there.
When I have a cold and I have drainage, I'm so concentrated on not having snot just start dripping down my face.
You lose your focus, but you did great tonight on the trivia.
I'm losing steam. For the Mets, we have Chris Donalds. Not a Hall of Famer.
No, I barely heard that name.
Ooh, very good pitcher. Also a great bowler. Arm injury slowed him down, but 1 year out of 21 season.
Oh, Burkett?
Yeah, John Burkett.
Yes, I liked him. He was like I hate to compare anybody to Maddox, but he had that style. It just seemed like he was picking the corners and everything. But he was no Greg Maddox, but he was very good.
He's very good, yeah. This player, I swear, this is the 3rd or 4th week in a row we've had him.
Oh, he's popular.
Greg Gagne.
I
I
remember it was a twin.
And he's still not in the Hall of Fame.
No.
3 weeks to get in the Hall of Fame.
I wonder if he's in the Twin Hall of Fame. Maybe.
Maybe. Ooh, great reliever. tragically, this was the year he passed away in the boating accident.
Oh,
Steve Olin.
yes.
Yeah, it's always rough to watch. Second Hall of Famer. Oh, an early card with the Expos. And I love this picture. Look at Larry Walker.
Oh, yeah.
Catching
I,
that ball.
I like that uniform too. The Expos had that blue.
I miss the Expos.
I do too. Bring them back.
Oh, one of the most underrated players of our lifetimes. Great center fielder for the Angels or for the Blue Jays. Heck of a defensive player. Good offensive player. Devon White.
On the World Championship Blue Jays.
Yes, yes. Batting leadoff for that team. Oh, gosh. 91 Blue Jays. He hit 282, 40 doubles, 10 triples, 17 home runs. People, this is a $25 million ball player today.
Yes.
Devon White, great player.
He could play on my team anytime.
Very good. I really like this guy. At one time, he was the only thing the Mariners had for him. Former Rookie of the Year, Alvin Davis.
Yes, Alvin Davis.
Brewers pitcher, I remember him, Cal Eldred.
Yeah, he's in the Cardinal organization too. And I think he's in the office now or something.
Yeah, I have heard his name lately. Now that you're
Yeah.
mentioning it, yeah, he is with the Cardinals or something. For the White Sox, we have left-hander Grade Hibbard.
I remember him.
Yeah.
Was
Mother
he-
Hibbard went to the Hibbard to get her dog a bone or something like that. No.
Oh, nice play.
Were you going to ask something about him?
Wasn't he a Cub at one time? I thought there was a Hibbard Cub.
Yeah, I think so. I think he did have a little sim with the Cubs. Yep. For the Padres, Rich Rodriguez.
Okay.
Nice throwing motion there.
Yeah.
Oh, here, former All-Star. Just didn't have the longevity in his career, but I always liked him. Outfielder for the Atlanta Braves, Dave Justice.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, married Haley Berry.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Hey.
Okay, then tell me, how is he not in the Hall of Fame?
I put him in my Hall of Fame.
Yes, he's shot at the top of mine now.
Man, yeah.
Oh, I have a best power Major League Diamond Skills card with Cecil Fielder.
Oh, yeah. Big season. 40 home runs. I think he hit 40 home runs like 4 years in a row or something like that.
I know he hit 51 year. Well, it doesn't have a stats at the back, just has stories. Oh, and Pirates pitcher Bill Landrum.
I remember him.
Was he related to Tito Landrum?
I don't think so.
Mother from a different brother or brother from a different mother?
Maybe.
Well, I got two Hall of Famers.
Two Hall of Famers. You got it right. You called two.
I really do like these cards. I think these are my favorite cards. The Diamond Kings and
Oh yeah. I love the Diamond Kings too. All righty.
Upper Deck. Sorry.
This is the 2025 updated cards, and this is a kid the Mets are big on. Brett Batty.
Yeah.
I know when Jordan Walker came up and him, they were some of the more highly touted young players, and I guess he's motioning to like he got a hit right there or something like that. And I hear he is getting better. He just didn't come into the league and set it on fire.
Yeah.
This is a rookie card. It's got the date he came into the league for the Twins, Brooks Lee, and that is a name I have heard. He's one of the few they didn't trade off last year at the trading deadline. I think they got rid of 10 players that were on their roster. Let's see. I have Noah Cameron from our Kansas City Royals right there.
That's a good picture.
That is a good picture right there. I would love to be a photographer that goes down at spring training and takes pictures of the players, you know?
Yeah. That'd be awesome.
This is Tommy Pham's least favorite fantasy baseball player, Jock Peterson.
Yes.
Yeah, there he is with Texas. He's had a nice career. He's been around a while. Got
He
the
has
pop.
had a stint with the Cubs.
Oh, I didn't know he was a Cubby. All right. This is Mason, and it's FLU, Fluharty. He was a Toronto Blue Jay, or is a Toronto Blue Jay. Looks like he's got a green glove.
Yeah.
Maybe it's St. Patty's Day or something like that.
Yeah.
You know, I'm excited. Me and Faith are going to go see the Blue Jays and the Pirates play 2 games in Toronto as of this minute. We're trying to do that over the summer. Let's see. I'm trying to get the name off of here. Chandler Simpson from Tampa Bay,
Oh, yeah.
and he's a rookie player right there. And then
play.
this is a name I heard it sometimes associated with maybe going to the Cubbies, probably not now, but with the Nationals, Mackenzie Gore.
Yeah.
And it's one of those chrome cards they put in this set every once in a while. He came up very highly touted from San Diego, I remember, and was in a lot of big trades. But he's with
in the Soto trade.
Oh, that's right. They got like 5 players for him. And then the star is a kid from Boston, Marcelo Meyer, right there. Star card right there. So that's pretty cool. And Vince, that's about it right there. I had a couple of doubles. When I had a double, I don't show them.
Yeah.
But every once in a while, I mean, these cards are like, I don't know, $4 a pack now, and you get doubles in them. You're like, oh man, what the heck? So anyway, that's my cards for the week.
All right. Well, JJ, this has been the episode I've been waiting for all winter for something to happen.
Yes.
And it happened with both teams, so it's pretty cool.
We
got something to talk about. So,
that's right. We'll find something to talk about, even if hairdos or something. We'll talk about it.
Anyway, once again, thank you for John and Michael for joining us. Awesome job, guys. And we will see you next week.